Hi there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate in the Nest and I'm wishing you a happy day. It's the 1st of spring here in the Southern Hemisphere, that's what it's called, and I imagine the 1st of autumn for you in the North. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I just want to say it's great to be with you. I get excited about the change of seasons and I always love the first day of a month because for me that's renewal, a chance to start again and to grow more and to have fun and joy with friends and family. So this is an update on my works in progress that I've shared, that I've been working on. So to wish you joy and blessings today, ta-da, flowers. This is a cupcake pincushion. I've been telling you I've been having fun making variations of these. This is my, it's a true combination of lots of things that I love. I've crocheted this flower and then I've embellished it with these things here. There's wool blanket with stitching in between there, so lots of layers and frills. Pink blanket under here that's been stitched, and then a rose from a vintage embroidery. Okay, so whichever way you want to sit it on your crafting table, it will, I hope, bring joy. It's bringing joy to me in this session. So pincushion, Huswif, and needlebook. I shared the starts of these and I want to finish some work on the needle book this afternoon. They're resting on 2 other pieces that go with this series. This is a project pouch where I don't want to show you everything, but it is so handy to put stitchy projects in and travel with you. And speaking of travel, this is my big travel envelope that I'll just give you a close-up. These are such a joy to make. They become memory keepers, and from experience I can tell you they are just fantastic to have beside you, in your car, on the train, on the plane, in your lounge room, wherever, beside your bed, wherever you want to move your projects. So they're going to go to the side for a minute, and I'm just going to think. That's right. So Horsewhip is going as well, and we're going to concentrate on the needlebook, which is this one here. So have I asked you how you are yet? As usual, did it all come out in a big bloop? It's just happiness. I just want to bring you some smiles and happy flowers. And this one is absolutely covered with every little piece of it in reclaimed embroideries, my stitching. That's a bit of my mother's applique machine applique, and just Suffolk puff there. Okay, so let's quickly go through it. Color and cake go together. So this is my favorite fringy bits and a rose, a vintage, very delicate hanky that's become a pocket, a bluebird of happiness, because this is going to be flying away across the world, some flowers, doilies, and here in the center. So I've left this quite plain because it's the bestest place for putting your needles. So let's just, oh, okay, it's bending. Pincushion there, or this big one, needles resting here, threads in here. However you like to do it. More in the center, more opportunity. These could be a different sort of needles kept here. I've appliqued. This is a piece of Beck's vintage is that called cut a quilt? Sorry if I've got it wrong, but just look at that as a little picture as you're stitching away. Over here, I've got a bit to do, and also at the back. So flower upon flower, this is what I want to work on first. I want to embellish the other side of this pink handkerchief with that. I have a little pocket at the back which would easily hold threads and things as well, or even scissors, and that's the back. It will have a wrap on it, but let's go to here because I want to do something with you that is going to be both handy and perhaps make you smile. So this is the back of this doily, beautiful pink perle edging on it. I need to slow down. I'm just so excited. So excited. Do they call that spring fever? I don't know. So this is going to go here. I'm going to show some of this stitching underneath. I'm using a vintage, I actually think this is a tapestry needle, which isn't perfect, but anyway. I was everything's falling apart. Gifted this beautiful peach perle cotton from my friend at the Green Door, and I just saw that and thought that is the perfect thread to be using here on the first day of spring. We'll tuck that little end under. Suffolk Puff, I think it's a vintage one. It may have come from the UK. I've only ever done one order on Etsy of Suffolk Puffs. Put that in there, tuck that in there. And I'm just doing a whip stitch around here so it doesn't show a lot on the back. Yeah, because it's under there, it doesn't show anyway. I mean, I might be talking fast because it's also a little bit of an emotional day here. It's Father's Day, and this is the second for me without my gorgeous dad. I've got his photo here in front of me, and he's smiling down with the most beautiful, beautiful smile, but one can't help but, get a little poignant and on days like this. So that's why I am sort of doing lots of stitching and making today. My husband's away, my sons are not here, my daughter's, I saw her last week, so it's one of those times where sort of don't want to celebrate alone, and so as I treasure every single memory, I am making as well, making history. And as I make pieces that will go into the hands of others, made from the hands of others. Okay, think of the person who made that. Okay, deep breath. This is my surprise. All of a sudden, I'm loving putting stuff in things. And just to give this a little bit of height, so just a tiny bit, yeah. So this looks like a raised flower, and it also means that this is a raised flower, and we could keep pins in it. Now, I'm looking around, you can't see me because where are the pins, but anyway, here's the needle, Oh, I know, because I'm using all my pins elsewhere. Okay, so we're just going to stitch that little bit of whatever you call that inside. Hope you can see I got all emotional all of a sudden. I wasn't intending that. Okay, so, but I know how kind you all are, and that we all have different stories of our families and where we're all up to. So thank you for sharing it with me. Okay, boom, and we'll do an extra stitch here, and let's come down in there. So there we go. So I've got a little bit. It's not too thick. I love these books because they can be as thick or as skinny as you like, or as tiny. I've been watching some people making really tiny ones, and that might be my next thing. So whatever we want to do, we can never be bored with a needle book. What I'm thinking is we might, seeing I've got this threaded up, what if we stab myself to get through. Now, I was going to say let's go and make a French knot, but I think that crater is too big, that I've done this before and they get lost down there. So let's just make it a beautiful pink flower center with some big satin stitches. Like this. Yep. Just over and over. This is my 4-ply wool, and I'm getting bigger now, like the stitches. Like that. Now let's go this other way, over the top. I'm not going to pull real tight. Yeah, and a little bit more. Then over this way. And I go the opposite, but I need another one. Now I'm going to finish off oops, everything falling apart, with a little decorative running stitch around the sides here. Trying to go through too many layers, but I just want it to be a little bit more 3D. Yeah. My flowers center's gone back in. I'll work on that. just pull that through. We won't see any of that on this side, and it's got that puffy. Boop. All right, let's keep colouring our worlds. This is a little piece of pink, the corner of a tray cloth, I think. I'm using it in my historic, very vintage vessel. Oh gosh, there's alliteration for you. I should have been calling it that. Very vintage vessel. In my very vintage project. Watch out, I might go back and change that. All right, let's make this. I'm going to go back to this pearl cotton and make this a handy. I have to say, I don't find this quilting very easy to stitch. So I'm going to use the holes already existing in the tray cloth as my go-tos and just skim the quilting. That's something I always say, isn't it? Like, if there are holes existing, use them. I'm going to sneeze. This wind and pollen. Excuse me. I need that there now. No. So just simply coming around the sides. Getting absorbed in what I'm doing because it feels so relaxing and soothing actually. So I'm just going to whip up here because there's no holes left. You won't see it, you'll just see the raggy edges, which is part of my style. Just like that. Oops. Oh, unthreaded the needle. Sorry, a little delay here. Here we go, and let's just, because there's thread left, we will not waste it. Let's go sort of some dainty little stitches. I do want to reinforce that, I've realised, so let's do it like this. Come back. I was lost in my thoughts, and does that happen to you? You're just thinking about where you're going, and okay, so I don't have to stitch this down, that's what I have to remember. This is just the side of the pocket. We want to leave a little space here so that you can get fingers in and out, or scissors. That's just a little bit of storytelling at the top. And we'll go back again. There we go. Just before I came on, I had the most wonderful thing happen. I had sold one of my field notes journals to a lovely lady in South Australia. It's already got to her, and she has already started to add her Roxy Creations pieces of stitching and material to it, and it was just such a joy to know that you know, when we make something, we do it with love and we get the pleasure out of the making, but now to see it with in a new nest and becoming that person's, it was just a wonderful thing. So that's on Facebook under the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. So the combining of paper and fabric was just beautiful to see, and already just so much better than when I sent it. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, how's our time going? Yeah, maybe a little bit more. I've got this beautiful fragment, and I wanted to show you that you know, this is I found this ages ago just as a piece of fabric in an op shop in Canberra, and I have used it in nearly all my nests and all my pieces of work. It just goes with everything, and it's not hand embroidered, but the beauty of those colors, just whatever I'm doing, they seem to match. So I'm looking around for what else I've got. So here's a variegated with some pops of neon. So that's the stylistic thing that can add, I don't know what the difference is in these needles. They might be exactly the same. I didn't bring my own horsewhip down on my little pouch. I've got them scattered all over the house, but of course when I should be using them, I can't put my hands on them quickly. All right, so the only tricky thing is we could have done this before I stitched it together. Oh, I haven't stitched it again. See, good thinking, Katie. You knew that. So that's why you didn't stitch it. Let's see. I do love these sweet little flowers there, and we might embellish around there in a minute or in another session, who knows. So the good thing is I can get my fingers in here. What's the right side there? So just getting that sense of design. Feel like a diagonal. Let's put a little pin in. And there's no way I could hide the the stitchings on this, so let's make a feature of the actual stitching. So we'll go over that. In one of those rare times where I haven't, now and then I just don't think enough about which way to pull the cotton. Move this down so we can still see the embroidery through there, and it's on the other side as well. So now I want to go up here with visible stitching. This is so easy to get through the fabric. Like that. So I'm not sure if you can see that, but these big fluoro stitches are blending in, so at the same time as joining it together, you've got this little bit of modernness. Okay, we can't help but have a bigger stitch on the back there, but it will be in the middle of the pocket. So let's zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm going to keep that bit like that so it gives interest. Hard to get around here. There we are. I've done a 360 on you. Sorry everyone, hope you're not too dizzy. I could have done this before I made the pocket, but I had no idea, and that again, I know many plan out in advance, and sometimes I do that and it's much easier, but my eye starts with the basics, and then I like to come back and add treasures, same as in my paper journals. It's like your foundation, your colour story. Look at this, a little pop. I can't take the credit for it, but look, a little pop of aqua there that's going to work across with there. And I think we'll go this way. So there. And then back again. And up this way. Yep, that's all holding down. No, I don't think it needs much more, and I might actually cut those flowers. Back to the beginning here. There. So I might just cut out closer to them so they flap a little bit. There we go. A little pocket. And the last thing I thought I'd do is just finish this bottom. I'm going to use this fully Australian 4-ply wool. It's got merino and silk. Which way do I want to go? I might pick it up here. Now, I know many of you share the joy of blanket stitching around the edges of these needle books, and I do admire all the stitches that come out beautifully even. Just going to blanket it down here. And this is a point where, oh, so I'm just getting mixed up here. I've got the wool with the embroidery, and that's onto the cover. So we want to come out now to the cover. And we want to embellish this bit here, which is not about needing to secure it down because it's already totally all secure. It's always the biggest thing when you go through multi-layers and you do it fast. Okay, there we are. So we're just going to, just the top layer, do some seed stitches. And you know, something that I found, and I suppose I want to encourage others, is I don't think you can ever get tired of this sort of work. So you can be having it sitting on your desk or table and go, oh, there's a little clean spot in there. Let's put something in there, or let's try out our new stitch. So there's lots of tiny cotton French knots there, and actually that doesn't look like it's totally down. So let's go up here. You just end up going on these journeys amongst the flowers. And here's a space here. So let's secure that bit there. And let's do, I'll tell you what I haven't done for a long time, if I can remember how to. Don't quote me on this, everyone, but I'm trying to get 5 spokes of a flower. This wool does start to get a bit fuzzy if it has to go through too many layers. So let's, how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's be wild, Kate, and go there. That's a really big intentional spoke. And now we're going to go up and down and around. So we've got a textured flower, 3D. So it's over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, mixed up. Hard to concentrate and chat. Sometimes I feel like I'm just talking to myself anyway. Over, under. Virginia taught me this stitch right at the beginning of my slow stitching discovery at Green Door, and they pop up all over the place. So here's one on this needle book. Over, yep, under, and go over and under, and we'll finish back down the bottom there. So this is an over and under. I hope you can see that. It's just, and it's mirroring that flower there. Now let's come down. Yep, leaving that not too tight. Do a stitch to get this bit of orange. We're on our journey to the bottom. That's why we never get bored, isn't it? Like, there's always a path to follow, a new project to begin. I think I'm going to do the rare thing of making a second video and posting it, because I have an empty house and this week it's going to get busier. I need to do some paper journaling, and quite a number of you have been asking for particular things in my projects, so I hope it's not too much to get to. It's a choice, and then if I disappear for one night or two, you'll know I'm making rather than filming and making progress. I'm doing some work with my colleagues in the States, and that always means getting up in the middle of the night, putting on my dress clothes, and obviously doing all the prep around that. So as I said, this is just a luxurious afternoon here, and in my new way of well-being, what better way to celebrate than having your company as I make. Mind you, I still talk to myself even when you're not there, but many of you tell me that you like having me with you as you're stitching and making, so that's why we're doing it. Okay, one little bit more. And a few more seed stitches in here. And to put that petal down, pull it through, snip it off, because we won't see that. There we go. Oh, I don't know whether that was my chair falling down. I'm up, okay. I got excited. That's a double pocket there. So I got this off a tray cloth that was originally just tucked there to go under the table. So one pocket there and one bigger pocket there. There's the back, there's the front. I deliberately put this flower there because it's like squeezing the joy out of that particular blossom. So let's truly celebrate spring in Australia with, could we possibly get any more flowers on the table? I'm sure we could, but for me, that's just me wanting to share my joy with you. Thank you as ever for being with me. Wishing you a great week ahead. Bye for now.